out of abundance of concern. If you have a dog in your car, please go talk to Laura in the lobby. And now, congregation, would you please rise in body or spirit? And we're going to open this service with number 1024, When the Spirit Says Do. You may not even need your teal hymnals for this. We're just going to sing when the Spirit says do, when the Spirit says sing, when the Spirit says love, and when the Spirit says act. When the Spirit says do. Spirit says do, sing. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you gotta sing. Sing when the Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing. Spirit says sing.
Good morning. Good morning. We welcome you to this service this morning. This is the Anti-Racism Task Force service. This is the Anti-Racism Task Force service with some members of the group participating. We are pleased to have Lillian Rembert with us today. She has been a friend of this congregation for over 30 years. And we also welcome New Haven Rising today at USNH. With Reverend Scott Marks, and Reverend Stephen will introduce Reverend Marks later in the service. After the service today, we will have the Valentine's Day chocolate auction at 12 in the social hall. Please stay and bid on the delicious items. The USNH Variety Show and Dessert Bar will be this Friday, February 13th at 6:30 in the social hall. There is still time to volunteer to perform. Nonviolent direct action training, Saturday, February 14th, 12 to 5 in the social hall. Join trainer Lena Blount from Earth Quaker Action Team for an immersive training in nonviolent direct action tactics and strategy. And Stephen.
Good morning. Feel the spirit rising. The preacher's in the house. Welcome, Reverend Scott Marks. I don't want to take time away from our guest speakers this morning, except to say welcome to this annual anti-racism service. 100 years ago, the Black History Week was formed and then became a month. But as the moral struggle goes on, and we see that every week, we also understand it's important to confront anti-racism on so many different fronts. And therefore, I'm also delighted to make the announcement that next week, following the service, National Book Award winner Ned Blackhawk will be presenting The Rediscovery of America, Native Peoples, and the Unmaking of U.S. History. This is a remarkable book. Ned will be presenting around 12 o'clock. He's also connected to Ken Burns' American Revolution, PBS series that so many of us have watched. So invite your friends. This is truly a community outreach. It's not just folks who grab a cup of coffee after the service next week. Invite your friends. Make this a true outreach, because this is an important topic. And how many times are you going to have a National Book Award winner presenting in this congregation? Never until I come back. So there you go. So, you guys are positioned to light our chalice and to open worship this morning. Welcome. Welcome to all of you.
Good morning and welcome. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, and whatever brings you here today, you are welcome in this place. Let us take a moment to arrive fully, to let go of the noise of the world outside of these walls, and to open ourselves to wonder, connection, and truth. May this time together deepen our compassion, strengthen our commitment to justice, and remind us that we are not alone. Let us begin our worship today. Thank you.
As Tanisha lights our chalice this morning, we're going to begin the service with the reading of two recent poems by Amanda Gorman, African-American activist poet. Maybe I should put this down a little. How do you do it? Thanks, Tanae.
To know Sharon's been here over 40 years.
For Renee Nicole Good, killed by ICE on January 7th, 2026. They say she is no more, that there her absence roars, blood blown like a nose. Blood blown like a rose. Ice wheels flinched and froze, now bare riots of candles, dark fury of flowers, pure howling of hymns. If for us she arose somewhere, in the pitch deep of our grief, crouches our power, the howl where we begin straining on the edge of the crooked crater of the worst of what we've seen. Change is only possible and all the greater when the labor and bitter anger of our neighbors is moved by the love and better angels of our nature. What they call death and void, we know is breath and voice. In the end, gorgeously endures our enormity. You could believe departed to be the dawn when the blank night was so long, where the blank night so long stood, but our bright fled angels will never be fully gone when they forever are so fiercely good.
For Alex Jeffrey Preddy, murdered by ICE, January 24th, 2026. We wake with no words, just woe and wound. Our own country shooting us in the back is not just brutality, it's jarring betrayal, not enforcement, but execution. A message, love your people and you will die. Yet our greatest threat isn't the outsiders among us, but those among us who never look within. Fear not those without papers, but those without conscience. Know that to care intensively united is to carry both pain, dark horror for today, and a profound, daring hope for tomorrow. We can feel we have nothing to give and still beloved this world, waiting, trembling to change. If we cannot find words, may we find the will. If we ever lose hope, may we never lose our humanity. The only undying thing is mercy, the courage to open ourselves like doors, hug our neighbor, and save one more bright, impossible life.
Congregation, we will rise one more time in body or spirit and sing hymn number 1040, Hush. As the music plays, if you are so moved, if you are carrying a joy in your heart from this week, please come forward and light a candle. If you are carrying a sorrow in your heart this week, come and place a stone in the water so that its weight can be lessened by the love of this beloved community. 1040, Hush. Sounds like justice. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody had trouble. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Thank you for that sweet, sweet balm for the soul. People who have known firsthand the crushing weight of oppression have something in common. They know what it's like when that oppression disappears. They know that first moment when they experience a kind of liberation, a kind of freedom, a kind of relief from that crushing weight. Martin Luther King experienced that for the first time in his life. He expressed that in a letter to his mother in 1944 while spending a summer in Connecticut working on a tobacco farm. He wrote back to his mother and said that when he got off the train, he walked by a restaurant and saw black and white people sitting and eating together. He wrote back and said, I went into that restaurant, one of the finest in the city of Hartford, and I sat down and was served. It was a first for him in his life. He had never seen something like that before. Jose N., in his book Illegal, wrote about something very, very similar. He wrote about growing up in Mexico with one dream. He and all of his friends and everyone in his family had never been to high school and wished more than anything else that they could get an education. And when Jose immigrated to the United States, to Southern California in 1990, he remembers sitting in a cafe and hearing a group of high school students complaining about having to go to high school. And he went out that afternoon and registered for a GED class. Jose got his GED. He went on to college. He got a PhD. But he still does not feel like in the home that he has known since he was a teenager, like he can publish a book with his last name on it. Jose has known oppression. Martin Luther King knew oppression. My own wife, Sandra, taught me a lot about knowing firsthand oppression when she told me a story about a time when she in her life sought relief from physical and verbal abuse that she was taking at the hands of her romantic partner. And she went to a judge in Costa Rica, and that judge told her that she needed to leave the apartment that she was paying for, that was in her name, that she paid the rent every month. And she said to me that when she came to the United States and realized that that would never happen here, that in this time and day and age, women, in her view, would be listened to, would be heard, and would not be told to leave an apartment that was registered in their name. She had one of those moments, one of those breakthrough moments, where an oppression that she had known, the oppression that Jose had known, the oppression that MLK had known, the oppression that many of you are thinking about in your hearts right now, an oppression that you may have known throughout your life, was suddenly gone. That does not mean that Connecticut in 1944 was some sort of utopia. It certainly was not. That does not mean that Southern California in these days and times is a beautiful utopian refuge for immigrants. It most certainly is not. But what I, in my life, as a white, heterosexual, cisgendered man, know and keep learning to be true is that in the fight for justice and in the fight for elimination of oppression, it is my job to listen deeply, because I have not known these oppressions firsthand. But it is my job to listen, to hear them, and to be with every inch of my being, part of creating that moment of liberation for the oppressed, for the people who have known oppression. Their struggle is my struggle. Their liberation is my liberation. Friends, may it be so for all of us in this room and beyond these walls and anywhere that we go. Let us continue to listen to the stories of the oppressed, hear them, and make them our own stories. For it is only by adopting them as our own stories that we will find liberation from oppression. I invite now the children that are gathered in this congregation to join me in the children's chapel up at the end of the upstairs hallway. Let us sing them on their way with words that are in your order of service. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Good morning. My name is Joan Ciano. I'm also a member of the Anti-Racism Task Force. Our congregation lives in covenant to each other. Every week, we read the covenant together. It's in your order of service. And I'd like to ask that we really focus. We're reading it to each other. We're reading it to the outer world because we have to interact with people that maybe we don't feel like valuing differences. But please read with me the covenant. We covenant together to nurture a culture of respect and kindness, and to engage in the spiritual and everyday practice of loving more generously. To this end, we will strive to be open, value differences, listen deeply, use kind language, speak our truths, work with conflict, seek humor and joy.
Good morning, all. Oh, that's right. It's been a while. As always, when I step in here representing my father. My name is Lillian Rembert. My father named me. He named me Lillian. You know, Lillian like the flower. And every day since then, he said, you better make sure that I gave the right person the right name. And I hope that I do him some justice. It's been some interesting times lately. I'm sorry if I'm a male lady, so I'm still cold from yesterday. It's a tough life. It's a decent life. It's a good life. It got me something that I thought I had to go other places to find. I found my family. I earned my name. It now belongs to me. I am every letter in that name. And I did my dad justice. I did my mother justice. I did my grandmother, who's beautiful, beautiful. Every time I come in here, I have to say hi to her. Is in the place where she needs to be. That's the place where you break bread. I remember when my dad first, after disowning me for the 40th time, said, "Get in the car, girl." And we had this rusty van. He said, "We got to go pick something up from the pantry." And I'm thinking it's the food pantry here and there. We driving. I said, "Why are we in Hampden? There's too many trees. What are we doing here? What's going on?" I said, "What are you up to, man? What do you got me into?" He said, "Come on, be you, but not you." I said, "Okay." So we get to the door. He said, "Come on, hurry up." For some reason, for an old guy, he's faster than me. And I'm just slugging behind. And I'm in my teens, and I'm acting like that 7-year-old when he drags me into whatever he's doing. We come in here, and it's so peaceful, so quiet. We walk through these doors. I said, "This is serene. This is definitely not Rembert-like." And suddenly, there's this lady said, "Come over here, Winfred. Come over here, Mr. Rembert. Whatever you want here belongs to you and your family." That was that. Not making us feel any less or any more. No grand gesture. Something so simple was beautiful. And look where I am at now. I don't know what I would be without you guys. My family wouldn't know what to be without you. I'm free advertising for all of you. Wherever I go, I'm like, "You got to go to this church." They get in, they get out. It's beautiful. You might learn a new word. You might have to read something, but it's great. So, and that's what anti-racism is. The smallest things are the grandest gestures. You can change and tilt the world with the smallest things, because I am one of 8. And each one of us spread your word, because it's similar to our word. You do, as that song says, what the Spirit does. And we call that good graces. When I walk my route, it's all walking route. I live in my neighborhood. I go from step A to step B. If someone doesn't have a quarter in front of me for its chips, here's your quarter. I say hi to everyone. I'm your neighbor. You are my neighbor. And I love that. We look so much into what's so far away. Yes, that's terrible. But remember what's in front of you. Remember what's in front of you, even if it doesn't work that day. As I tell people at work, they like, "Lil, how do you speak to the guy next to you that's a Trump supporter?" I said, "We have similars." And I said, if I didn't speak to, how would I not speak to him? He's my neighbor. We're right next to each other. I said, by the end of this, he's going to love me, because everyone loves Winfred's kids, so he's going to love me. And we fight, we argue. He tells me what time period is best, and I said, what does that time period mean to me? I'm not here to force you to believe what I believe. I'm here to tell you, your belief doesn't stop me from moving. As my grandmother said, wherever you cast a shadow, that's where you belong, because you're in the light. So wherever you cast your shadow, that's where you belong. You are the light. So I am a product of all me, better or worse. Product of all me, and I will always be that. I earned my name. My name is Lillian Rembert. My father named me Lily like the flower.
Lillian usually speaks a little longer than that, but that was succinct and perfect. Every week we lift up the spiritual value of community care through an offering. Your donations help bring the full breadth of ministries of this congregation to fruition. Please give generously as the music plays. You can also make a donation to the number in your order of service or donate through our website. This morning's offering will now be received.
On a recent Saturday Night Live, there was a skit of one of those political panels where one commentator says, you know, we have never seen anything like the violence of people being plucked out of their homes and treated this way. It is absolutely unprecedented. And the two black panelists put their shoulders together and said together, And then the next panelist said, this is not who we are. This has absolutely never been seen before in American history. And the two panelists put their shoulders together and said, planning this service, we talked about the awful familiar, but we can't leave it there, and we never can. And so we talked about, and what is next? And I thought long and hard. And I remember going to a meeting of New Haven Rising and being so impressed by your vision and your charisma that I thought to myself, I would like to have Reverend Scott Marks at this pulpit. And today we are lucky enough to have him. And represents not only New Haven Rising, which is an effort to get Yale to become full partners with the common life and decency of our community, but also he represents in his own ministry the New Growth Outreach. On this very cold, cold morning, I invite you to please offer welcoming warm hearts and the freedom of this pulpit to Reverend Scott Marks.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Scott, I'm going to lift your pulpit for you.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Keep it going. Keep it going. You're a big man.
All right. When I walked into this place on this morning, I felt love and peace. I'll say it again to make sure everybody heard me. And in a minute, you're going to be asking me to be quiet. Thought I'd take it easy on you in the beginning. I said when I walked into this place this morning, and I stood here and I sat there, I felt love and peace. And this moment that I find us in, that's very important to me. I'm happy to be here, and we have a steep road ahead. And I'm excited about that. I'm here on behalf of New Haven Rising and New Growth Church and all that I believe. I grew up in Newhallville. My parents left North Carolina, sharecroppers, one step away from slavery, sometimes was slavery. And they came to this city looking for a better quality of life. Well, to be honest, my aunt had moved here with a gospel musician, and he didn't like the work, so they were hungry. And the woman who they borrowed the phone to call home to report in, because you know you have to report in when you're away like that, because up north, you know, all the rumors about how scary it was. And basically when once she used the phone, we called to check on her, and the woman said, listen, I can't give your sister any more eggs. Somebody's got to come here and see about her. And we came, my father came that weekend, as the way the story was told to me, and so many opportunities. 6'7", 356-pound man. He got so many jobs offered at that time. And I'm a big guy, and we have a big family, and basically, but he was a huge, gentle giant. I have two nephews, and I tell it everywhere I go, that actually made it to the NFL. And basically, my nephew, I went to Alabama, and I had his t-shirt on. This is the thing that makes me most proud. I mean, he can, like, he's on the offense, but he pancakes anybody that gets in front of him. And the deal is, the thing that I heard with his jersey on, he is such a nice human being. This guy is a born leader, and that is the thing that we're trying to have. I can feel it in here. And so I want to get on to what it is that I'm saying, and I want to make sure that about 11:30, I don't want to have some bad looks at me. I want to be, headed that way. I want to talk a little bit about today the truth of our design. The truth of our design and the fierce urgency of now. The urgency of right now, the moment that we find ourselves in. The power sleeping within. The power sleeping within. Can I get an uh-huh? That church I'm from, yeah, like when I need to hear that sometimes. So we gather today in a moment that would deeply trouble Dr. Martin Luther King. He would be frustrated by the embrace of white supremacy, the loss of fundamental rights, and the soaring power of billionaires, while the poor continue to suffer. But I'm here to tell you that God did not create us weak and then asked us to survive these giants. And when I look out, I'm looking at God right now. I see him. I feel him. But I'm here to tell you that God did not create us weak, and I can feel the strength when we bring ourselves together, and I use the language when we build the committee. The truth is God's placed strength inside you before the struggle ever arrived. You're being, you've been asking for strength, but actually the rest of us are waiting for you to use the strength that you already have. And sometimes I struggle with that. When you become your own strength and stand up and use it, and that strength is in place, fear loses its grip. It loses its grip. Institutions like Yale start responding to you differently when we all stand together. This is about alignment, aligning with the power placed in your spirit. Before the world ever tried to break you down, it was there. The rich fool and the big barns of New Haven, look at the crisis in this city. We see it in the numbers. Housing, 49% of New Haven households spend at least a third of their income on housing. Youth, 567 students are homeless. 36% live in poverty. Schools with mold, overcrowdedness, and closures to satisfy budgets. Violence. My own godson, Daley Jackson, member of New Haven Public Schools, was murdered walking about a block away from his school in this city. And when I think about Renee Good, and I think about my brother who stood up for someone else, basically losing their life, this past summer, I got the call that my daughter was shot down and killed at a family picnic. And so when I heard about Renee Good, it made me think about my daughter. There's got to be more love that exists in the midst of us, and we must be the example. In Luke 12, Jesus tells us a rich fool who built bigger barns to store his abundance while ignoring his neighbors. Yale has built a big barn while they make $12 million every day that I wake up, 12 million in the growth in the endowment. New Haven loses 106 million this past year in taxes exemption. Over 1 billion in less than a decade. Dr. King said handouts to the rich are giving more sophisticated nomenclatures such as priority subsidies and incentives to the industries and all the folks who have. New Haven cannot afford to subsidize this wealthy institution. We're calling for a transformational investment. And I'm sharing that with you because I need your help, of 110 million per year. And we're not asking for something that was not out. This is something that I feel belongs to every taxpayer. And even though they haven't been recognized as citizens, imagine the taxes that they pay with no representation. Pressure as a revealer. Pressure as a revealer. We haven't seen this challenge because we are waiting for some rescue. We're waiting for Yale to act out the goodness of their heart. But Dr. King warns us that the evil of racism, economic exploitation, and militarism all tied together. Yale's leadership has remained neutral in the face of terror. They've ended their DEI program. They're cuddling billionaires who fight affordable housing. And I want you to understand one thing. I believe that we're blessed to have Yale University, one of the greatest universities in all the world. We have a moral responsibility to have them to be the best that they can be. And we can't ask them to be that best unless we're striving to be the best ourselves. Can I get an aha? But listen to the truth of your design. Pressure doesn't create steel, it reveals it. The struggle we are in, the housing crisis, the racist agenda of ICE, and the drums of war, you can hear it loudly, is not to break us. It's here to reveal the strength we already have. Trust in each other. Trust. Like a seed buried in the ground, you plant that seed under the dirt, but eventually it blooms out like a lily. A diamond gets created under immense pressure. I can feel the pressure. I can feel the weight. But the fierce urgency of now is calling for the strength that is already inside you to rise. Most people don't lose strength because they are weak. They lose it because they keep handing it over to others. If your hope of New Haven depends entirely on Yale voluntarily choices, the peace is alone. God did not build you to borrow strength. He built you to generate it. Dr. King urges our scientific prowess were outpaced our moral commitment. If the guided missiles of academia won't move, the misguided men in those offices must be confronted by the people. That's why we have to organize. That's why we have to come together. That's why we have to have the presentation here. That's why you have to be prepared to come to the 24th. That's why, Janice, we have to be prepared to come to the 28th, because together we stand and divided we fall. And I'm telling you, there is a special love whenever, where's that brother that was up here talking about, he couldn't talk about what he had not experienced, but basically God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Sometimes we need to be on a listening tour to really feel what it is that others are going through. And when you hear, it's one thing to nod your head, but something ought to get in your head and shake in your shoulders and get in your legs and get in your feet and cause you to get up and step out and stand up for justice. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's what happens when I can feel the Spirit moving on the inside. So I can see at 11:25 that on the 24th, oh, I was born, yeah, on the 24th, we'll be at Trinity Temple. And we'll be, it's whenever you go to fight for justice, it's never good to go by yourself. Come on, take out your pen and begin to write your list. And you don't have to break your back, but ask folks to come and allow them to have some version of the freedom that assembly brings. Just being here this morning, what about that choir? I want that choir. I need that choir. When they started to sing, the things started to lift off me. And that's what happens when we come together. Pin, name, who's coming to the 24th. Pin, name, who's coming to the 28th. And it would be good. I've been dealing with white privilege in this way. A lot of times when you have privilege, and as an organizer, I have a certain amount of privilege because I organize. But the deal is we don't get to do what we want to do when other people are suffering. It caused that suffering and that pain if we're listening, whatever, Jesse. Was that his name? Yeah. If we feel that pain from someone else, it should cause us to move and react and to do something different. I have a hard time standing behind these things here. But the deal is, Jamie is really the one you owe. Where is he, Jamie? Put your hands in the air and say, oh yeah, well, are you here? Good, he's with the kids. And he was treating me like a kid, saying, I want you there, you gotta come. I said, what, Jamie, I preach in my own pulpit, but this shouldn't happen, and I'm so glad. It was so cold that we had service online today. But to be here in your presence, reaching out, and the thing is this, we just came back from Denver, and we had a summit there, and basically Gwen Mills, I know some of you may know her, she learned how to organize here, and she came to me, and basically I was leading her, and all of a sudden she just went right by me and went all the way up to the very first woman leader of United Here International Union. One thing about this union, we lift above our weight. And the deal is, the thing that I love about it is not the 50% or just the health care, but the thing is we do a one-on-one conversation, and we're pushing on the folks engaged in that conversation to become the best version of themselves. Not my version, but their version. And share my version so that we can hold each other accountable in that act. One of the things, I was there, Local 17 president in Minneapolis spoke. She's going to be with us on the 24th, so I hope you come and hear. What you see on the news is not an ounce of what's actually going on. The brutality, the beat-ups, the arresting children. Over 200 families in our union have to have people assigned because not are they not coming to work, they're afraid to leave their house even to go buy groceries. Right. And so the deal is, the thing that she said, and I'll close, she said that, listen, don't ask, don't worry about if. You just better be ready for when it do come. And don't wait to get ready. We need to get ready right now. Yes, that's what we're doing. And the deal is, in the getting ready, there needs to be, I was out at work on Monday in our staff meeting, that's a very important meeting to me. And basically, the whistle went off, get to the library, ICE is there. We got up, we all went. But the deal is we need to have some way that we're communicating with each other, because if we need to respond rapidly for whatever the situation is, we need to be tied together. I appreciate this opportunity to stand before you. I hope it's not my last time. Is there a projector here somewhere? Maybe we could do a PowerPoint presentation, breaking down issues, and then actually collect those names on those notes. Jamie, make you guys, you tell Jamie that I said all that. But we have a real serious work to do. It's on His birthday that we're pushing for 110 million. We fought in the last round and 50 million over 5 years. In July, there's only 2 million. basically, when I wake up seeing what I see in this world today, I understand why. So basically, you cannot hate whatever's standing in your way. You have to have some ability to believe that there's some way that we're going to be able to get together. Yellow's announced that in March there's going to be some figure that they're coming up with, but there's some demand that we have that our people, this society, wherever you live, if you live anywhere in Connecticut, you pay something so that Yale don't get to pay, called pay in lieu of taxes. And so we want to definitely be a good neighbor to Yale and help them become a good neighbor to the rest of all of us. And if you don't do it with love, you're losing out on the whole thing that King meant for us to actually have and share. Thank you, and God bless you. In the black church, when the preacher comes back up, he gets into a sort of a tone like this. This morning when I rose, I had no doubt. No.
Let's sing together. 162. Gonna lay down my sword and shield. 162. In your black hymnals.
Down by the riverside, by the riverside. Study more and more, study more and more, study more.
You want me to read it? I don't mind. I'll stand here with you. The mic's the right height for you. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, oh, I said Sharon. Oh, I said it did say yes. I guess I have to do it. Lower the thing. Okay. So I see my name is here with the passing of the flame. So if, let's carry forth this chalice flame, its illumination into our daily lives, its sustaining warmth into our relationships, the light of reason shining beyond these walls. May we carry the fire of hope in our hearts this day and in the week to come.
Now, have you all noticed that the temperature in the room's gone up about 10 degrees? It's pretty good. Thank you to the anti-racism folks who work so hard every year. Thank you as well to all those who sustain and have sustained for more than 35 years our ministry in the Waverly Outreach. It's important that we keep our connection to New Hallville and keep it real. To Scott, thank you for coming. More information for New Haven Rising is outside in a table, and I would remind us that you all are going to come back on the 24th and also set up another table as well. More information coming. I know you've got some big events coming up. If we can become part of that, that would be fantastic. We do want to encourage Yale to be the best neighbor it can be to us through love and occasion coercion. So there you go. And now may peace, which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge of love, and may this peace be yours in the week to come. Amen. And now comes the chocolate auction. Hey, thank you.